Let's look now at the second area, and that is of the planet Earth being good. The Bible describes God as saying that when he created the earth and various parts of it, he talked about it being good. Well, since the 1980s or so, the earth has been predicted to be in tough shape in terms of a theory of global warming and a theory of climate change, saying that adverse bad things are happening to the earth, and this is going to lead to the demise of the earth and making it uninhabitable. In fact, in current time span in the late 2019 and early 2020, the idea is that the earth will become uninhabitable in 12 years. Well, that is not anywhere close to the truth. That's far from the truth, and I will explain that here in a few slides of this section. Now, global warming lost favor between 1998 and 2014 because, lo and behold, the Earth did not warm. What you see here are the Earth's recorded temperatures, the average annual temperature of the Earth over time from 1850 to 2019. And you can see that there's some variation, that it's a general trend upward, which led to the global warming idea. But a couple of interesting things happened here in this particular location here in the 1960s. The temperature stopped increasing. In fact, it dropped and it started to level off, and there was significant fear here of another ice age coming because it was not warming as expected, and that in fact led to the first Earth Day on April 22nd of 1970. Well, the Earth then continued after that time. Ice age was not apparent. It continued to warm, as shown here, but then it had this period here of leveling off, which is called in the literature the hiatus, the fact when the temperature did not of the Earth did not increase as it was expected to do. So this temperature definitely of the Earth is definitely increasing with time, and the question is why. And there are two different models that can lead to understanding of why. The United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change here, UNIPCC, has a model we'll look at, and there's also a cyclical model. We'll just discuss those briefly. Here for the UNIPCC model is the same temperature data in black here, and then here's their model plotted in red. And in red, you can see that here's that area from 1998 to 2014 when their model said the temperature should have increased, but instead it leveled off. So that's when the mantra of global warming was changed to climate change because the Earth did not warm. And it turns out from a mathematical standpoint, this model is poor. It's not good enough, does not fit these data good enough to be considered a model that can be used to predict the future. Now, on the other hand, there is the cyclical model. And the cyclical model depends upon various areas of science here that were studied over time and where they got about the same observed results. And so people had taken ice cores from the Arctic and Antarctic, had drilled nearshore sediments, coral reefs, fossilized pollen, iron filings, all of these studies, and these independent scientific areas all came up with the same conclusion, that they can see indirectly that the Earth had temperature swings about every 1,500 years. That the temperatures went up, and they went down, and they went up, and they went down in these cycles about every 1,500 years. Well, this plot here is a lot of information. You may want to stop the slideshow to look a little more detail at this. But here's the same temperature data in black, and this green sine wave here is the cyclical model. And you can see that the trend anyway, it doesn't fit it exactly, but the trend is showing an increased temperature here with the data. And more importantly, perhaps, is that the past climate epochs that are reported in history agree as well. Little Ice Age, when the temperature was colder. Here is the cold prediction. The medieval warming, when the temperature was warmer. And that's described in more detail. But basically, these past cycles fit the observed data today, and I believe that that's the correct model that describes what the Earth is doing. We're in the upswing part of a natural cycle, and I'll show you in a minute that there's a good test that can be had between these two models by terms of the next couple of years worth of average Earth temperatures. This model, cyclical model, predicts that by about the year 2240 we'll have reached our maximum temperature, after which it will decline. So here is a test that's apparent now for the near future. Here's what the temperature data are that we have measured so far up through 2019. And here's what the cyclical model said should happen, and here's what the UNIPC model says should happen. So in the 2020, 21, 22, 23, we will see where these data fall on this line or somewhere else. So this is a very critical test that's upcoming, and I'm anxious to see what the next few years worth of average Earth temperatures are found to be.